to very sincerely thank you for trotting your way out tonight. And remember, I love you, I love you, I love you.
How are you today?
I am generally disgruntled, I would say, but that seems to
great.
be the perfect sort of mood and ambience to do a Morrissey listening party.
You have never been in love until you've seen the stars reflect in the reservoirs.
I agree
I'm sure that's
completely.
what Morrissey is, and I'm even more disgruntled because I brought out some tea.
And you just stop me when there's something you want to discuss.
I think let's actually roll it all the way through. Let's also treat it a bit. I want to treat it also for my general, anxious, depressed disgruntlement, almost a bit like a meditation. A bit like, okay, 4 minutes of Morrissey just
right.
blasting through my ears.
Let's do it. Here we go. And we can be as animated as we want.
That's right.
On our little small screens. Here we go. America is not the world.
America, your head's too big, because America, your belly's too big. And I love you, I just wish you'd stay where you is. Oh, in America, the land of the free, they said, and of opportunity, in a just and a truthful way. But where the president is never black, female or gay, and until that day, you've got nothing to say to me to help me believe. Oh, in America, it brought you the hamburger. Oh, well, America, you know where you can shove your hamburger. And don't you wonder why in Estonia they say, hey you big fat pig, you fat pig, you fat pig. Steely blue eyes
I remember very clearly when this came out because I was supposed to go see him in either Houston or Austin, and my friend Pat and I were gonna go, and he had the album, and we were playing it in the car, the CD. This first track in particular is what I remember, and then he canceled, and so we didn't get to see him. And we think, he always claims illness, but we think it was just that Lone Star hate. He's like, Texas, fuck that, I'm not going there. This was the Bush era, right? So yeah. I think someone upset him or said something, and he's like, no, I'm not playing Texas. So we didn't get to see him.
Yeah, let's remind ourselves, Morrissey is a perpetually disgruntled, waspish, flaky four. That is the term I actually use for all my Enneagram 4 clients. I call them the flaky fours because we are. Fours are very flaky. They're like, it's like, oh well, the sun came out, so now I'm ready to record. Oh, now the sun's not here. No, I don't think I could do it today. I speak for myself here. We are the fucking princesses of the human idiot world. I really think so. We're awful. We're just awful. And Morrissey has that in spades. He's just such a freaking drama queen.
Oh, for sure.
But it's the drama queen that we love, and that also in his art is that what we so enjoy, because basically, like this song, right? He's telling you all the reasons why he hates America, reasons we can all get with, but then he ends the song by going, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you.
Well, there's always that kind of...
There's that fundamental contradiction there, which again I see as a very four-ish quality.
Well, there are always these paradoxes, or I don't know, maybe you could call them turns or twists, There's always, seems like in every Morrissey song, whether it's a Smith song or a solo effort, there's always some kind of lyrical digression or excursus, which is one of the great things I appreciate about his lyrics, or his songwriting. The way that there's something completely unexpected from the title. You wouldn't expect this just reading the title or listening to the first 2 minutes of the track or whatever. There's some lyrical excursus or like a musical bridge or middle eight that is totally unexpected. Tomek says, that's why I ditched 4 for 3, haha. Oh, I can share that. Let me share it. Show on stream. Oh, look, there it is. Yeah, so...
I like those. I like that cover.
It's more those, interactive.
Yeah.
I didn't even know I had that capability until just now. But what was I saying? That little... I want to call it a twist or a turn. Just some unexpected surprise, lyrically, musically, or both. And there's some other excellent examples of that in these other tracks. But for me, the standout line is, and I remember this in 2000, what was it, 2004? Yeah, 2004 or 5 when I first heard it. Where the president is never black, female, or gay. That was like a really powerful line. Of course, that was before Obama,
That's right?
And then we learn from 2008 to 2016, oh, it doesn't matter. You can have a black, female, gay, trans president, and it's still fucking empire. So at the time, yeah, that's one of the lines that's a bit dated, right? Even though it's still, you can understand why he wrote that at the time, and even now perhaps, but that's already been tried, and nothing changes. You know, the empire's stronger than the figurehead at the top. Turn is a great poetic term I just recently learned. Show on stream. Yeah, turn. I mean, trope literally means turn. So maybe that's the English equivalent of Greek tropos.
What's it like for you as an American to have Morris, because, I mean, let me put it this way. I did a video on my channel about a month ago called Falling for America, which is really about my love affair with America.
Show notes.
And I do it through these 4 songs about America, and I think
and
one of them
is one of them. Yeah,
this is one of them, right?
Yeah,
and so. I really, Morrissey's really singing for me here in many ways, because I can see all of the rancidness, if you like, of America. Of course I can, and yet America for me, and also for Morrissey, I guess, which is why he's essentially an American, more so than a Brit these days. There is there is this fascination. There is, it's sort of the exotic. There's an exotic element to it, or a mythical element to it, which I don't find enough of on this island. I think that's what it boils down to. That I think there's a true mythos happening in America, for all its rawness and for all its grandiosity and grandeur, which I don't experience on this island. Why I feel like we're always, it's kind of like living in the shadow of America, even to this day.
Well, let me give you my perspective on that. I think I mentioned it in chat. While you were having your love affair with America, I was having like a kind of Anglophilia phase that I went through, more so as a teen. But I think I mentioned, like, I had this box for my cassette tapes, right? And I drew and painted a Union Jack on it, because one of my favorite albums at that time was Who's Greatest Hits, and it's got that, I think it's like a suit, a guy wearing a suit that consists of the Union Jack. So I was all about British bands, the Who, the Beatles, the Stones,
what was that
Led Zeppelin.
For you? Yeah, what was that? What was that as an alternative? Because just like America for me was like, oh, I don't want this, I want that. What was, or I want to associate more with that. I'm drawn to that. What were you drawn to in those English bands?
I just loved the music and the songwriting, and I love what they did with so-called American music. I mean, the Stones have said, like, we're just 5 white blokes playing American music. So it was the music. It wasn't like I had a desire to move to the UK and fucking, attend Oxford University or something like that. Here's another comment to share. Tomek says, I'm an Anglophile. I think it's all about fascination with the other. Why didn't that work? There we go. Yeah, it could be that. I mean, the grass is always greener, right? But I didn't, maybe it wasn't as strong as your Americanism. I didn't, feel an overwhelming desire to become a Brit. Like, if we're talking about the British Isles, I'm more interested in, the Celtic prehistory, right? I'm more interested in my Welsh and Scotch-Irish roots, because I do have, and Cornish, I do have people on both sides of the family from there, and so I've only been to the UK once, and that was long ago on the way to Greece, and it was a very short-term visit. So I would like to go back and explore more, and that kind of leads us into track number 2. This is one of his all-time great songs, killer track.
Irish blood, English heart, this I'm made of. There is no one on earth I'm afraid of, and no regime can buy or sell me. I've been dreaming of a time when to be English is not to be painful, to be standing by the flag, not feeling shameful, racist or partial. Irish blood, English heart, this I'm made of. There is no one on earth I'm afraid of, and I will die with both of my hands untied. I've been dreaming of a time when the English are sick to death of Labour and Tories, and spit upon the name Oliver Cromwell, and denounce this royal line that's still saluting, and will salute him forever.
I was going to stop that, but I didn't want to.
Well, 2 minutes and 37 seconds. You can't. A song like that has to be heard. I think they all really have to, in a way, be heard all the way through. Just because this is the album where it is kind of all killer, no filler. I mean, this. I think we see here very much. Morrissey's 8, I would say his Enneagram 8 side, the challenger side, I will die with both of my hands untied. And I think it's also that part of him that pisses people off, right? It's people can kind of, he can get away with the fey, four-ish, gladiola in his back pocket, bitchy navel gazing for snowflake 4. He can get away with that, but it's when he steps into his more vocal challenging 8 role, he becomes a thorn in people's sides. And there's also a naivety to it. I don't know what you think about this. I mean, there's a naivety, I think, to that eight-ish stance, which is he genuinely saying that it would be possible at any point to stand in front of the British flag without any of the associations of empire and all of those nefarious associations? I mean, isn't that a little bit naive to even suggest that might be possible?
Well, if we consider the title of the track, I'm reminded of Johnny Rotten's self-description, right? He calls himself a an Anglo-Saxon Celt. And what he means, it's basically the same thing. Like, I'm Irish by birth, but I sympathize culturally with England. I mean, Paul McCartney said something similar, right? Like, Great Britain, you are tremendous, and nobody knows like me. But really, what are you doing in the land beyond the sea, right? Give Ireland back to the Irish is the song this comes from. And of course, McCartney also is Irish blood, English heart, right? So you've got all these Celtic, or ethnically Celtic musicians especially. It's like particularly in the field of music that have contributed so much to British culture. And so they all, admire aspects of British culture and have contributed to it and are proud of their contributions, but at the same time they're disgusted by empire. And when he says he's dreaming of a time, I think he knows that's not realistic, right? And he even says, like, spit on this royal line, denounce this royal line, spit upon the name Oliver Cromwell and denounce this royal line that still salute him, and will salute him when? Forever. So he knows it's not going to happen. Oliver Cromwell is an interesting choice, right? Because he's a revolutionary. He killed the king, he and his armies, and then, so I don't know why the British monarchy would admire him. Maybe they do, just because he was such a piece of shit authoritarian. Maybe they like that. So to answer the question, I don't think we need to take it too literally or seriously. I think he's just saying, I wish it were possible to be more proud of my British, if not heritage, citizenship or whatever.
What do you make of the line? This, again, this is pure fighting talk, which annoys people, right? There is no one on earth I'm afraid of.
I love it. I mean, this is.
Of course you do.
Yeah. This is why it's one of my favorite songs. First of all, this band. I mean, this band kicks ass. These guys rock. It's like, in some ways, heavier than the jangly Johnny Marr Smith records,
Sure. Yeah.
So that's why this is all. I mean, I think this track's actually on one of those Guitar Hero video games. It's it's heavy. It rocks. It's fucking awesome. And so he's got the lyrical punch to match it. It's like. Yeah, as you say, full on 8, and I'm here for it. All right, let's keep it snappy.
Let's forgive Jesus now, shall we? Yeah.
So what happens is he has his meditation on America, his meditation on the UK, and now he's going to have his meditation on the church, I guess, and Jesus in particular. Another banger. Here we go.
I was a good kid.
And we've got a video this time.
I wouldn't do you no harm. I was a nice kid with a nice paper round. Forgive me for any pain I may have brought to you. With God's help, I know I'll always be near to you. when he deserted me, but I have forgiven Jesus for all the desire he placed in me, and there's nothing I can do with this desire. I was a good kid. Through hail and snow I'd go just to moon ya. I carry my heart in my hand. Do you understand? Do you understand? But Jesus hurt me when he deserted me, but I have forgiven Jesus for all of the love he placed in me, when there's no one I can turn to with this love. Monday, humiliation. Tuesday, condescension. Wednesday, condescension.
Thursday
And
is
Thursday
pathetic.
is pathetic. By Friday, this life has killed me. By Friday, more condescension. Oh, pretty world. Oh, pretty world. Why did you give me so much desire when there is nowhere I can go to upload this desire? And why did you give me so much love in a loveless world, when there's no one I can turn to unlock all this love? And why did you stick me in self-deprecating bones and skin? Jesus, do you hate me? Why did you stick me in self-deprecating bones and skin? Do you hate me? Do you hate me? Do you hate me? Do you hate me? Do you hate me?
Why has he got it in for Jesus as opposed to God, right? I mean, surely Jesus is also in, particularly Jesus is stuck in self-deprecating bones and skin. Surely we should all be kind of fighting the patriarch as opposed to poor Jesus.
Well, but
is what I would
understand. I understand very well. I mean, again, Irish blood, English heart, right? He's a little Irish Catholic boy from Manchester, so he grew up. You know, the authority of Jesus on the cross is more impressive visually than the abstract notion of God, right? Like, that's the thing that the little Catholic boys and girls are supposed to bow down before. You know, the priest invokes the image of Jesus on the cross, maybe even holding the cross. So it's like a image of authority. And even though my background is Protestant, I understand it very well. Like I get it. Even though his characteristics are different from those of the patriarchal Yahweh or Jehovah or whatever. He's the authority figure in the Christian religion, right? So he's the one that you must bow down before. And so, hey, if you accept the doctrine of the Trinity, well, Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, they're all one somehow. So I understand what he's saying. Like, the part I don't understand is this line. I was a good kid through hail and snow.
Oh, that's my favorite line, yeah.
I'd go just to moon you. What does that mean? What it means in the States?
pull down your trousers and show your ass.
Show someone your ass, right? So that's why does he say that? You think like I was a good kid?
I think this is the perfect example of that. That perfectly, I don't know. It's just blissful, right? This sort of cheeky turn. Because when you read it, you think he's going to say something like, I was a good kid. I'd go through hail and snow just to deliver the coal that you needed to stoke your fire. But in fact, he's going through hail and snow to do something obnoxious. Right? He's going to a friend's house and standing outside, and maybe some Christian friend, possibly, I don't know, right? And then sort of calling and saying yoo-hoo, and then when they look out, I don't know, maybe even some sweet little girl or something like that, some sort of sweet little Christian girl, which he looks out, he pulls down his trousers. I carried my heart in my hand. Do you understand? Do you understand? It's that, it's that sort of paradoxical. I don't know. It's the brio of Morrissey, ultimately, isn't it? That line.
The brio. Ooh, I like it. Allegro con brio.
Yeah. There is something about him. There's something kind of cheeky, naughty.
Yeah. Okay, I'm glad to know it means the same thing. Here is one of the first turns that I'm talking about, the unexpected, in this case, lyrical twist. Monday, humiliation. Tuesday, suffocation. Wednesday, condescension. Thursday is pathetic. I mean, that is amazing. I couldn't believe that the first time I heard it. So, it's just brilliant, like, where did that come from? What great lines,
What is brilliant about that? Because
bones and skin. Well,
because again, I just look at that and I think, well, yeah, this is pretty much how the week transpires for me. Craig David is out there. Monday, he meets the girl, and by Friday, he's shagging her. And for the self-deprecating, pathetic Enneagram Fours of this world, it's humiliation, suffocation, condescension, pathos of a sort. And then by Friday, is it any wonder that we're feeling a bit worse for wear, right?
Well, I mean, I think it's well known that especially early Smith songs, they were basically just diary entries, right? Like Johnny would play something on the guitar, and then Morrissey would open his diary and try to sing what he had written in there. Let's see if this works, right? This is just like a diary entry from this kid in self-deprecating bones and skin. And what a phrase that is. Why did you stick me in self-deprecating bones and skin? I mean, it's like Noel Gallagher says, Noel Gallagher, another Irish blood, English heart type of guy. He says, Morrissey's the most literate man to ever write songs. Okay, here's a comment from the chat. Love the Craig David reference. I don't get that. What's that? What's the Craig David reference?
Oh, don't you know that Craig David 7 Days song?
On Sunday, I met this girl on Monday. Took her for a drink on Tuesday. We were making love by Wednesday. And on Thursday and Friday and Saturday, we chilled on Sunday.
Basically bragging in his very Enneagram 3-ish way about how he, seduced her, but in a kind of a lovely way as well. But this is the anti Craig David. This is the sort of I'm all alone. Well, we're coming to that. That's the song 4, right? I'm all alone. I'm going to die alone. Everyone hates me, but I hate them even more. Misanthropic Morrissey dirge.
And you have never been
right? Which either you're just like, hell yeah, someone's got to say it, or you're sort of, I guess those anti-Morrissey, anti-Smiths folk are a bit like, get a life.
We are the
Or something.
No, I mean, well, I'm not one of those people. I'm like, yeah, this is unique. I mean, who writes pop songs like this? Who says these things in popular song? I'm all for it, What
It's
about
very
Tomek's?
raw. It's very raw. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, again, as you say, that's what we love. Tomek says this has Madonna vibes. Maybe he's talking about like the power of goodbye period. I guess that's maybe what he means. It is a beautiful dirge. That's a great word to describe it. And this is, I think this is one of his very best songs. Now I will say musically, there's something about the keyboards on a lot of these tracks. There's like this whirring kind of I don't even know how to describe it. It's like a swelling, whirring kind of effect that's used. I don't always love that, but the guitars sound fucking great. And the bass and the drums, the rhythm section's killer. I mean, these guys... So this is one idea I had, right? Like, the guitar is the pen is mightier than the guitar. Think about that. In other words, you can... Okay, even though there's only one Johnny Marr, he's got a unique sound. Yes, he's a virtuoso, he's a genius, he's fucking awesome. But you can always find some hotshot guitar player to help you achieve your sound and vision, right? Can you replace a Morrissey? Can you replace a lyricist? No, there's only one. Like, you can find another acceptable lyricist for your band, and he can be your, or she can be your front man or front woman or whatever. But what really makes the song, the pen, dare I say, is mightier than the guitar in some cases. Now, that doesn't mean the guitar is irrelevant, because as we'll see, these guys that he found to replace Marr, like all the collaborators he's found, they're also great, in their own ways. So credit where credit is due. But it's kind of like with Bowie, he could always find collaborators who could help him achieve his vision. But without his vision, there's nothing, right? Without the lyrics and the song and the concept and the message, it's just some guitar
but it's also
noodling.
It's the deafness of the lyrics, right? Because there are plenty of people, and there's plenty of teenagers writing those kind of pseudo Morrissey songs in their bedrooms right now. There's something very teenage about Morrissey. I mean, he's like one of those perpetual teenagers, which again I think is very much the Enneagram Four. They remain teenagers forever in a way. But there's also a deafness to it, right? Because he's tormented, but there's it's this sort of fighting spirit. There's it's the sort of I don't know. I'm reading Karamazov at the moment, Brothers Karamazov. I don't know if that's a book you've read.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I'm sure you have. Yeah.
Well, I mean that's canonical. That's like in my DNA.
Wow, yeah. But there's something there's something very Dostoevskian, we could say, about Morrissey, right? That it's always at this very, very high pitch, and yet, there's a lot of kind of, it's not just one sort of flavor coming through. It's, there's the pathos, but then there's also the anger and the bitterness, and it's like a whole handful of very, very strong emotions, which are all sort of warring with each other or threaded through each other, and again that's the feeling you often get when you're reading Dostoevsky as well, I would say.
Yeah, here's a comment on that.
Regrets, I've had a few, but then again, too many to mention.
Best book ever, says Tomek.
It's good.
Yeah, it's. Which of the masculine archetypes do you most identify with?
Oh, I think about it as I do with novels these days, very much through a kind of an Enneagram lens. So, you know, I think, in fact, if in my front cover, you know, with where all the characters are, I've along with GPT, I've typed and subtyped all of their characters. So, for example, you know, when I think of Alyosha, I think of Social 2, Social 9. When I think of Dmitri, I think of someone like a Sexual 8. And I don't necessarily fully identify. I mean, there's a bit of Dmitri I identify with because I have that 8-ish Sexual 8 quality, that kind of craziness. I don't really identify with that with the Alyosha, who's the sort of the moral core of the book, because he's too good.
Well,
He's too good for,
Dostoevsky. Oh, Tomek says Team Alyosha. No. Dostoevsky wishes he could be Alyosha, but he's more Ivan and Dmitri. It's interesting for me.
And Ivan is like a 5. Ivan is very much, I think, like a sort of a 5 character. And again, you get all of this in Morrissey as well. I think Morrissey is very much this 4, 5, 8. Those are the flavors of Morrissey in terms of his personality, the sort of the personality factors.
4, 5, 8, stand up, satanic.
Yeah, and I think that's very much, you know, Dmitri and Ivan are carry that the 5-8 side of things.
Los Angeles, you are too hot.
Well, I'll just quickly say, when I first read Karamazov I guess I was, 17 or 18, and my friend Via and I read this at the same time. My friend and co-author GJ Via. Time to plug a book. Have you read Flan's Day? So the first time we read it, we were Team Ivan, you know. Oh yeah, you know, we're atheists too. But then we read it again maybe 15 years ago, and totally different. Like, we were much more sympathetic to Ivan, the sensualist, you know. And we were completely, maybe like the first time we were kind of intrigued by the
to Ivan or to Dmitri? Sorry,
Dmitri.
Yeah,
Sorry,
Mitya,
Ivan first time. Sorry, I should make that clear. Ivan the first time. Ivan the skeptic, atheist. You know, as you say, 5 observer, detached. You know, cold, intellectual, right? But then 15 years ago, as you know, we were much older, both of us divorced fathers, and you know, having been beaten up by the world in various ways, we identified much more closely with Dmitri, the sensualist, and you know, the man of the flesh, the impulsive one. And whereas, like, the first time we read it, maybe we were intrigued by the transgressive nature of Smerdyakov, the bastard, right? We were totally disgusted with him. Like, there's this passage where it talks about how he would torture cats, like he would drown cats and practice animal cruelty. We're like, what the fuck? This guy's a total psychopathic piece of shit. We weren't at all intrigued. It wasn't like interesting and edgy. It was despicable, you know? So I don't want to speak for him, but we discussed it, and I think we had similar reactions to the book. All right, enough of the Dostoevsky. Have you read this? I'm holding up Morrissey's autobiography for those who are just listening, not watching. To get
I'm
past
surprised
the
you're
ad.
not. Don't you? Aren't you on a non-ad
No,
subscription?
look. See, it's asking me for a subscription. I'm saying nope. Nah, I'm cheap. All right, here we go. Come back to Camden. Can you hear? Yeah, it's playing.
There is something I wanted to tell you. It's so funny, you'll kill yourself laughing. But then I look around and I remember that I am alone, alone, forevermore. The tile yard all along the railings, up a discolored dark brown staircase. Here you'll find despair and I calling to you with what's left of my heart forevermore. Drinking tea with the taste of the Thames, sullenly on a chair on the pavement. Here you'll find my thoughts and and here is the very last plea from my heart forevermore. Where taxi drivers never stop talking, under slate grey Victorian sky. Here you'll find despair and here I am. Every last inch of me is yours forevermore. Your leg came to rest against mine. Then you lounged with knees up and apart, and me and my heart, we knew. We just knew forevermore. Where taxi drivers never stop talking, under slate grey Victorian sky. Here you'll find my heart and still we say come back to Camden.
Okay. Beautiful ballad. Oh, shut the hell up. Oops. All right.
Yeah, who do you think is the you in this song? Is it who do you think is and also who is calling him, come back to Camden? And still we say, come back to Camden, and I'll be good, I'll be good, I'll be good. What do you make of that?
I don't know. This is not one of the highlights for me. I mean, it's beautiful crooning. He's a crooner, and this is one of the best examples of that, right? Like it's almost a torch song. Romantic ballad. So I don't know, it's a sentimental kind of love song, a silly love song in the McCartney-esque tradition. I don't have a lot of deep
he seems to
thoughts
be
about
alluding. He seems to be alluding. The setup I imagine in my head when he's singing this, right, is that he's come back from the States, and there is some kind of love interest who maybe lives in Camden, and they are sitting having this tea. Because in Camden you've got the Thames, a tributary of the Thames passing through there, and he's feeling as ever sort of woeful and woebegone, because presumably this is a love affair that's not, that's one of those sort of impossible love affairs. I don't know,
unrequited, or
something like that.
I wonder,
this
as
is
you're
sort
saying
of the
that,
mood of the song, I guess.
As you're saying that, I'm wondering, like, is there something about the climb or the Guineas loci of the British Isles, the spirit of the place, that encourages these or inspires these feelings of melancholia? We talked about this in relation to the Chicken of Depression and Stevie Smith's Away Melancholy. Like in sunny California, he doesn't have these feelings to quite the same degree, maybe, but then when he goes back and he's drinking his tea by the Thames, it's like, oh, here we go. It's that British black dog. It's the melancholia, which I have to say, I've always been attracted to that. Like, you can hear it in, the Beatles' Yesterday, for example, which to me, it's always reminded me of like a Thomas Hardy lyric. There's just that resignation and that worldly melancholy, almost Hamlet-esque. I just finished with the Simon Critchley mysticism book, and he talks about mysticism as the anti-Hamlet impulse, right? But to me, this is just a very, even the geographical reference is Camden, right? That's a part of London, so it's a very British
that's
song.
I think that's an important reference, right? Because Camden to London is like the Haight-Ashbury or the Berkeley. It's a bit like Haight-Ashbury meets Berkeley, or it's a bit like Williamsburg, Lower East Side of New York, Lower East Side, right? That's the vibe of Camden. So it's a very kind of indie type spot as well. This is not, this is, again, there's a kind of and it is a place, I think, of all the places in London that is most associated with kind of up and coming music, particularly indie kind of music. So that also, I don't know, I guess that also adds an extra sort of flavor to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, now that you explain that to me, it makes sense. It's kind of like there's a kind of bohemian
Yes,
vibe, I
yes,
guess.
very much. Yeah.
Nice groove.
On returning, I can't believe this world is still turning. The pressure's on, because the pleasure hasn't gone. And I'm not sorry for the things I've done. And I'm not looking for just anyone. On competing, oh, when will this tired heart stop beating? It's all a game. Existence is only a game. And I'm not sorry for the things I've done. And I'm not looking for just anyone. I'm slipping below the waterline. I'm slipping below the waterline. Reach for my hand, and the race is won. Reject my hand, and the damage is done. I'm slipping below the waterline. I'm slipping below the waterline. The woman of my dreams, she never came along. The woman of my dreams, well, there never was one. And I'm not sorry for the things I've said. There's a wild man in my head. There's a wild man in my head.
That's another one of those turns, this time musical, right? Like there are no guitar solos on this album, but for whatever reason on track 5, we get a flute solo, which I guess is played with the keyboard, but that is fantastic. That's like the highlight of the song for me. Along, of course, with the line, "There's a wild man in my head." That's pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean, that's so interesting because I identify a lot with that line as well, but it was also making me think, well, if for those of us who experience that, what are the metaphysics of that, right? And then so curious that the flute, which does not indicate wildness, the flute indicates something more ethereal and more focused, almost more mindful in a way. I don't know, those are my associations. Interesting that should lead us out. Maybe the flute's more aligned with the line, "I'm slipping below the waterline," I don't know.
Well, actually, in ancient Greek music, there's the flute and the oboe, and I want to say the flute is associated with Dionysus. So to the
really?
Greeks, I may have the two mixed up. I'll need to look that up. Show notes, flute, oboe, Greek music. But yeah, if the flute is associated with Dionysus, then actually it's like the wild, untamed, Bacchic or Dionysian energy that's being invoked.
Which certainly certain wind instruments, like say saxophone, trumpets, those kind of more, what I think of more sort of jazz type instruments, they have that quality, but it's not a quality I associate with flute.
I guess it depends on the performer and the performance, but there is an ancient significance to the flute. I'll have to confirm what it is, but I want to say it's associated with Dionysus. If I've mixed that up, then shame on me. I'm supposed to be a classicist. All right, so ready for track 6, which is, I know, a highlight for you, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
You've featured this in some of your
I actually did a video
videos.
of this as well. Yeah, this was I did a video of this title, I think.
After meeting some wonderfully outgoing, friendly
some
Brits. Yeah. All right, so here we go.
You must be wondering how the boy next door turned out. Have a care, but don't stare, because he's still there, lamenting. Policewomen, policemen, silly women, taxmen, uniformed whores, they who wish to hurt you work within the law. This world is for so full of crashing balls, and I must be one, 'cause no one ever turns to me to say, take me in your arms, take me in your arms, and love me. You must be wondering how the boy next door turned out. Have a care and say a prayer, because he's still there, lamenting. Policewomen, policemen, silly women, taxmen, uniformed whores, educated criminals work within the law. This world is for so full of crashing balls, and I must be one, 'cause no one ever turns to me to say, take me in really lies beyond the constraints of my mind. Could it be the sea with fate mooning back at me? No, it's just more lockjawed pop stars, thicker than pig shit, nothing to convey. They're so scared to show intelligence, it might smear their lovely career. This world, I am afraid, is designed for crashing balls. I am not one, I am not one. You don't understand, you don't understand. And yet you can take me in your arms and love me, love me, and love me. Take me in your arms and love me, love me, love me. Take me in your arms and love me. Take me in your arms and love me. Would you do what you should do? Oh, oh, oh.
Interesting outro there. End of side one. Yeah, another slow, melancholic meditation. Some great lines in here. Lockjawed pop stars, thicker than pig shit, nothing to convey. So scared to show intelligence, it might smear their lovely career. Or cause them to be throttled by the algorithm. That's always a possibility. Uniformed whores, that's a theme that runs through at least two of the songs on here. The next one talks about, you know, people in their uniform. This is so great. Uniformed whores, educated criminals, work within the law. You know, these people that want to hurt you, they're going to find a way to do it legally. Police women, policemen, silly women, taxmen, uniformed whores, they who wish to hurt you, work within the law. Whores and bores, that's a great rhyme.
Yeah, it's a very interesting song because I can also see when I listen to the song, you know, I can see also why people admire but also find Morrissey, you know, petulant and maybe even somewhat childish, if you like, because I guess he's also expressing kind of impatience and also I guess a lack of compassion, for want of a better word, right?
He's misanthropic, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's ultimately what it boils down to. It's a full, it's a sort of full communication of that misanthropy.
And he wallows in it. He wallows in it, you know. So I guess, like you say, I think you mentioned this in your discussion of Pessoa's The Book of Disquiet. Like you said, some of the passages in there remind you of Morrissey, and it's like the kind of friend you wouldn't necessarily want to hang out with every day, but when you're in the mood for it, it's like, yeah, I know what you mean. Like, you're really touching on something I have been through and can relate to and can understand. But, you know, sometimes it's too much, right? Like, you have to be in the mood for it. But when you are in the mood for it, thank whatever gods there be that it exists, right? Like, you can go to it in your time of need and wallow with him. How about that?
Yes. Yeah, and I mean, all of these songs have that juxtaposition, right, between the sort of self-pitying, weak, pathetic, sort of abject, I think is maybe the right
abject,
is the word I would put for it. You know, there's something, Morrissey's sense of himself is a very abject one. And yet it's combined, right? It's not like he's sort of all, because usually that abject kind of status goes in line with a kind of meek and mild, almost humiliated, sniveling, oh well, you know, I'm nothing, I'm nobody, no one loves me, but it also comes with a lot of this kind of fight, this and this misanthropic.
That's what's beautiful.
Well.
That balancing of the misanthropy with the self-deprecation in such a humorous, ironic, sarcastic way, you know. But when he, like in the next song, you know, when he goes on the attack, it's sincere and heartfelt, and you really feel it in a powerful way. But it also has its comic side, right? Like if he actually, this person he feels disgust for at a distance, if he actually talked to him or her, he'd probably be pretty friendly and sympathetic, you know. But just seeing this person and seeing one of these uniformed whores gets his dander up, right? Like, ugh, no. I want to stay away from that. I would never be you, sick as I am. I'm reading ahead here. I'm anticipating the next track.
Yeah.
I wonder, should we play that one and wrap it, because it's like almost one here, and I know you got to walk Max. I don't feel like we can do all 12, you know. Yeah, let's listen to track 7, and then if we have comments on 8 through 12, we can quickly just mention them, reflections without listening. But this one, oh my goodness, I listened to it for the first time I think yesterday. For some reason I'd not like heard the whole album all the way through, and the first 10 seconds I was just immediately hooked. Like, holy fuck, this rocks, man. This is like, here's an example of how Johnny Marr is replaceable, you know, and it's a unique sound. It's heavier than like the Smiths. This is like my kind of shit. Like these guys, and you look them up, Alan White, Boz Boorer, Jesse Tobias, Gary Day is the bass player. These guys are fucking solid, you know. They're like rockabilly guys. They're rockers, you know.
Yeah.
And this chord progression is so surprising and amazing. It's wow. I probably listened to this 20 times yesterday. So
wow.
Here we go with 21.
Yeah.
Are we sharing yet? Not yet. Here we go. I got to start this at the beginning because it's fucking killer. Here we go.
Told me she loved me, which means she must be insane. I've had my face dragged in 15 miles of shit, and I do not like it. So how can anybody say they know how I feel? The only one around here who is me. They said they respect me, which means their judgment is crazy. I've had my face dragged in 15 miles of shit, and I do not like it. So how can anybody say they know how I feel when they are they and only I befriend me, which means you can't possibly know me. The voices of the real and the imagined cry, the future is passing you by. The future is passing you by. So how can anybody possibly think they know how I feel? Everybody look and see pain and walk away. And as for you in your uniform, your smelly uniform, and so you think you can't be rude to me because you wear a uniform, a smelly uniform, and so you think you can't be rude to me. But even I, as sick as I am, I would never be you. Even I, as sick as I am, I would never be you. Even I, sick and depraved, a traveller to the grave, I would never be you. I would never be you.
Yeah.
Holy fuck. That is just incredible, man. I love that song.
You know, it's so funny that this is maybe one of your favorite, and this is one of my least favorite on the album. And
Really?
my understanding of this, right, is that for me, this is Morrissey at his most 8. And in fact, I said this while I was listening. I said this to GPT, and listen to what GPT said back to me. They said, yes, absolutely. The central 8 theme here is, you will never understand me. Not in a sensitive, longing, four-ish way, but in a sort of dismissive, self-protective snarl. He sets up a challenge. If you claim to understand him, you must be insane, misguided, or simply not him. Also, the reaction against, again, I'm thinking Karamazov, right? I'm thinking Dmitri here, right? The reaction against betrayal, perceived or real, is very classic 8. Love, madness, respect, nonsense, friendship, impossible. The outright disgust at authority, the sneering at the man in the uniform is pure 8, particularly in its degradation of the other. The uniform is not just oppressive, it is smelly, it is rude, it is beneath him. The power structure is inverted. He, despite his own sickness, is still more than them. There's also a shadow of Enneagram 4 withdrawal and disdain. I mean, that's the stuff I go with, right? The withdrawal and the disdain. But, GPT again, it lacks the romanticized suffering of the core 4. It's not the longing of, nobody understands me and that is tragic, right? That's the 4. But more this brute, nobody understands me and that is right. You know? I love that. I love that distinction between, let's say, the 4 and the 8. Nobody understands me and that is tragic. Nobody understands me and that is right.
Well,
for me, I don't know, that's just perfect.
Well, I would say, you know, again, there's that balancing of the misanthropy and the self-deprecation, you know? It's like, as sick as I am, what's the twist he puts on it? Oh, this is so great. He says, sick and depraved, a traveler to the grave. I would never be you is how he ends. I just think, and that's one of those twists again. I didn't see that coming, you know, like where did that lyrical, you know, tangent, the excursus on the uniformed whore alluded to in the previous song or 2 songs ago or whatever, right? Like, I wasn't expecting that, you know. First, it is kind of self-deprecating, right? Like if you like me or want to befriend me or you're in love with me, there's something wrong with you. You're insane. You're crazy, or you don't know me. You know. So I certainly wasn't expecting the invective of this attack on the uniformed whore, but I love it. You know, and again, what drives it is the music. Like I don't know what came first. I don't know about the composition process, but I'm assuming the I think this was an Alan White song. He's like, oh, I got this chord progression, and so again, Morrissey goes to the notebook. Let's try this with it, and can't argue with the results. Beautiful. It's an amazing track. Brilliant piece of songwriting. The arrangement, again, there's some of that. I wrote down the description. It's like a swirling, whirring, whooshing keyboard on some of these tracks. Maybe not so much on this one, but they're like echoes of it. I don't love that. And there's like a background chant. I don't even know what they're saying on that bridge part or middle 8 or whatever it is. Do you have any comments on tracks 8 through 12? We've got First of the Gang to Die.
Well, apart from saying maybe First of the Gang to Die is maybe my favorite track on the album.
Oh, shit.
In a way, because also for the reasons that I think it's also Morrissey's most astute and and hilarious commentary on Eros, right? You have never been in love until you've seen the stars reflect in the reservoirs, and you have never been in love until you've seen the dawn rise behind the home for the blind.
You have never been in love until you've seen the stars reflect in the reservoirs. And you have never been in love until you've seen the dawn rise behind the home for the blind. We are the pretty
We are, I don't know, at each other's throats, or we are blinded in the process of our erotic connection. There's something going on there that I find very, very pleasing and generative in a way. I don't know what you make of those lines.
Well, just the song in general, I'm thinking of like how one of the turn-offs people have about Morrissey is his kind of fascination with bad boy, naughty boy, rough boy culture, like he kind of fetishizes gangsters. He was like a fan of the Cray brothers, these guys, murderers, killers. So he kind of romanticizes them.
I wonder if there's something for Morrissey, if there's something kind of erotic about that.
I think so.
Right? I mean, that's just, he just finds that just a turn on. It's not like he necessarily would condone the behavior of those men, but he just finds them very sexy and
rough trade. That was the name of the Smiths' first label, right? Rough Trade Records. So there's it's kind of appropriate. I mean, that's how I take it. It is kind of erotic for him, and as I say, that's kind of a turn off for some people because not everyone like admires the Cray brothers, for instance. They're horrified by their barbarism and their violence and their disregard for any human values. I mean, I guess that could be argued on the other side, but like they're not, I don't necessarily admire them in any way, so I think they're fascinating characters, but like I don't romanticize them, let's put it that way. How about 9 through 12? Anything?
Well, seeing as I need to go, I think maybe for me a kind of a somewhat closing remark would be that the last 4 lines of this, if I got the lyrics right, of this album are the squalor of the mind, the squalor of the mind, the squalor of the mind, the squalor of the mind. And I think that's, and we're back to Dostoevsky again, right? I think in the sense that this is for those who truly, for those of us whom Morrissey is canonical, I think it's because we recognize and appreciate that there's very few people, certainly in pop music, who do the squalor of the mind as well as I mean, you can find that certainly in literature in abundance, but in pop music, that's a very, very special quality that he brings, right?
Well, predecessors would maybe include Lou Reed,
sure,
Iggy Pop, to some extent, Bowie to some extent, but yeah, he's in a class by himself. Like there's no one who does what he does. Again, the pen is mightier than the guitar when it comes to songwriting, at least in his case, because he proved through the success of his solo career that you can find other collaborators to help you achieve your vision. You're not dependent on the one guy you came up with and found success with before, right? Like you can always keep going and find new people that you can work with, and they bring something different. Like this doesn't sound like a Smiths record, does it? It's not that jangly Johnny Marr stuff, which we also like and appreciate, but I mean this is heavier. I like these guys. I like this band. I like the guys that he found to play with in this period. So yeah, as I listen, and
I can see that. I mean, having listened to a lot of your music recently, right? I can definitely see this more, kind of rough trade, very more 8-ish version of Morrissey. Our piece that we did, I ended it with Pearls Before Swine, and I feel that's got a very kind of Morrissey feel to it. Mm-hmm. That song, right?
Okay, well...
All right, I need to run, but...
yep, go take care of Max.
That was
Thanks
a good one.
for joining.
I'll speak to you soon.
Yeah. This has been Guitar and Pen. Thanks for joining. We'll see you next time.
Is there even anybody out there? And even if there is, do I really care? Why do I cast these pearls before swine? Haters hate but love to criticize, denigrate, dismiss and minimize. Still I cast these pearls before swine. Sending out this message in a bottle to try to draw attention to my struggle. It's like casting pearls before swine. Maybe I just need a little sympathy. Brother, can you spare a little empathy? Should I cast these pearls before swine? Here I go again, wasting all my time, casting pearls before swine. But at least they're mine. And every little thing will turn out fine if I can just write the next line. I just need a little tenderness. Sister, can you spare a little happiness? And help me cast these pearls before swine. I may have lost all my inspiration, but I'm will and representation. That's how I cast these pearls before swine. Every picture must have a painter. Every drama must have a director. Keep casting those pearls before swine. It Takes a pig to know what the pigs crave. I'm dumb enough to try my soul to save. Who am I to object to pearls made for swine? And here I go again, wasting all my time, casting pearls made for swine. But at least they're mine. Every little thing will turn out fine if I can just write the next line. And every little thing will turn out fine if I can just write the next line.